would be 9. This would be 49. This would be 42 cosine z, right? And then making sure that we subtract things correctly. You should take 81 and subtract 9 and 49. Oops, that's 49. So you get 23 equals negative 42 cosine z. I think some of us were ending up with 16 or something there. I'm not sure, but you should have negative 42. And then divide both sides by negative 42. And then you take the inverse cosine of both sides. Everybody following me here? Okay. Well, you're catching up from yesterday. Yeah. So we have cosine to the negative 1 of 23 over negative 42 would equal my z, which is what I had to find. I had to find the measure of the largest angle. And so if we punch that out, you should get 123.204. We okay there? I will warn you in advance that if you're given a picture, either by me, because for these problems I tend to just draw my triangles the same way every time, even if one of our angles ends up being obtuse, because you don't know right offhand unless you're given an angle what that measure is going to look like. So all that to say, a lot of times your triangles are not drawn to scale. So that might happen. Why? Well, like if you're just given this, you don't know for sure if any of the angles are obtuse. So you just kind of have to draw a triangle to label it, and then go from there. Alright, so that should be your answer for example 2. And then we're going to do one more. Example 3. This one I want you to do all on your own, and then we'll check it together. Okay, in triangle XYZ, you're going to let x equals 3, y equals 7, and z equal 11. And then I want you to find what would the angle z equal. Okay, so you draw your triangle, you label it, and then figure out, using the law of cosines, what angle z would be. Alright, your setup should look like that. I mean, your triangle might look a little different, but the setup of the law of cosines should be that. happens, or has anybody gotten to the point where they're taking the inverse cosine?
You can't do it. It's an impossible triangle.
This will happen where if you get to this point and you try to punch it out, and as long as you're in the right mode, so you've done everything right, then there will be times where you get a no solution. What does that tell you about this triangle? Can't exist. If you had a 3-inch piece and a 7-inch piece and an 11-inch piece, there's no way that you can make a triangle with those 3 lengths. That's what that answer would be telling you.
Because 3 and 7 add up to 10, so you wouldn't even be able to lay them straight on the 11 side to get that. You'd still have a gap of 1.
Right.
Cool. So basically, if you add up 2 sides and it doesn't add up to the third side, it doesn't work.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't add up equal to or more than. Well, more than.
It'd have to be more than.
Yeah.
Keep being ridiculous, teacher.
But this will happen. So if your angle doesn't exist, that means no triangle is possible with these dimensions.
So if we were to draw it to scale, there's no way you can draw it.
Right, in this case. Like, I just drew a picture so that we could label stuff, but in doing the math part, you realize that no triangle is actually possible.
Can we have a ruler?
Yeah.
Not for the...
That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Wait,
Dude.
we can't have a ruler for the test? Why not?
Because I said no.
You always need a ruler.
Because if you have a ruler, you can
You make everything
that's not
pristine.
Well, let me tell you that this is not the norm.
You see Donnie.
It's like almost all the
I'm
time.
like measuring.
But in case it happens, in case it happens, I want to make sure we've at least seen it once so that you know it can happen.
Like 60.
Could that be on the test?
What?
Could that be on the test?
The ones on the test more that you'll deal with are the ambiguous cases where you have 2 different triangles.
Oh, okay.
But those
What?
ones will... They're called ambiguous cases. It's the last thing that we do.
That sounds fun.
It's not. Alright. Let's look at this piece here. Area of a triangle. In past math classes, the area of a triangle equals 1/2 the product of the base and the altitude, or we say 1/2 base times height. Okay? So, normally, that would be how it's written. In these notes, and then the notes in the next section, we'll learn how to find this area from 2 side lengths and the included angle measure. So you don't necessarily have to have 2 lengths. You don't necessarily have to have the height of the triangle. You can find it from the side lengths and then the measure in between. This is the same information you use in the law of cosine. So, I want you to draw a triangle here. We're going to label it ABC. This would be side A, side C, side B. And then draw in an altitude. We're going to label that H. Now, if you're not given the altitude of the triangle, this is the area formula that allows you to find the area of the triangle without having the altitude or the height. And the proof of where it comes from, we're going to kind of do below here. So in the triangle above, the area would equal 1/2 base times height if we were given the height. But what happens right there? Or what do you see?
A right triangle.
A what?
Thank you, Connor.
Oh.
Alright, a right triangle. And with right triangles, we know we can use SOHCAHTOA to set up some relationships between the sides here. So, if we start with A equals 1/2 base times height, I'm going to be able to replace the height with something. Because again, if you're not given that height, you need to be able to still use the information you have to find the area. So instead of the height, we're going to use the fact that if we drew in the height, you'd have a right triangle, and we're going to set up a trig relationship here to show how the height is related. So in this triangle, we're going to look at angle A. Now with angle A, what function, trig function, would relate angle A, that side, and let's say the hypotenuse? sine. Why would I not want to use B?
Because you don't have the whole thing. You only have half of B.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's half necessarily, but it's just a piece, right? But I have the whole side of C in that triangle. Everybody follow me there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of A.
So sine of A, we can say is H over C. So if I wanted to just replace H with something that's getting H by itself, so what would H equal? If I was to get H by itself there. Sine AC, or we probably put C in front. C sine A. And then we're going to replace the height in our formula with C sine A. Now that's beneficial for two reasons. First reason, a lot of times you're not given the height or the altitude, and you're given the lengths of sides, and at least one angle. Or if you're not given the angle, you can at least find it using the law of cosine. So now you can find the area of any triangle, whether or not you have the altitude or the height. Because before you had to have that. Yeah.
Formulas, most you know, finding out there's like more. It's like halves that we're
Yeah.
just little pieces.
Oh, Miss Cross, there was a quiz bowl question the other day about finding the area of a triangle. So, of course, me thinking everything is way too far. I was like, alright, let's see. Crap, I can't remember the area formula. It's probably something like FBC. Can't remember that. And then it was just like half base times height. It's just like, that's too easy.
Alright. So, if you would, make sure that you write down in the box, because some of you weren't following along.
Well, shame on them.
I was following.
Sorry. I have it written like
Sorry.
right here. Here, I'll write it right in the box.
Thank you. That is what I was looking for.
There we go. So it's 1/2 BC sine A.
Alright. And then I think the last couple examples we're going to do one together, and then this last one you're going to do by yourself, and we'll just check. That's just using this formula here. Alright. Oh.
You come back tomorrow and start talking about that later. I'm gonna go on a rampage.
Oh, gosh.
9:30. Dude, it's a mystery.
I thought you were pulling my seat out. No, make sure I don't fall on the food like I already did. See, I thought you were pushing my chair.
Alright.
Too hot.
You have triangle ABC.
You know what? I should just save this.
Actually, why don't you, on your own, draw the triangle and label the information. Again, I just always draw the same triangle shape, usually. To just label stuff. So we have 13, 15, 71 degree. You can use that area formula as long as you have two sides of the triangle and the included angle. Going back to geometry, the included angle is the angle in between the two sides. So do we have that information here?
Maybe.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Miss Cross, does it really matter where you put the values on the triangle? Like which?
Well, that's why we label it. Like, it doesn't matter as long as side A is across from angle A, side B is across from angle B, and then angle C. But you can make it CAB for all I care. It's just labeling. Alright, and if you're asked to find the area, notice we don't have the altitude, but we can use the manipulation of the regular area formula, which is BC sine A. Sorry, 1/2 times BC sine A. And then punch in the information where it goes. Now notice my A, my B, and my C, I have some of the same values here, but B and C are my two sides. So right now they're side A and side B, right? So even though they use A, B, and C here, that doesn't mean it's always going to line up with the variables they give you. But you just have to know that these are the two sides, and then this is the included angle.
So we have to find side B first?
No, we don't have to.
Or
We can use the information they give us.
you just use the right side.
Like, if we label this X, Y, Z, like it's just making sure that for B and C you plug in the side values, and for the angle you plug in the included angle they give you.
Well, wait a minute. When it
is a little c. Side c.
I don't have.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter here.
Oh.
Cause B and C in the equation are your sides no matter what.
So like
You
two
have to
sides
use
A.
the other side of the triangle on the C.
Yeah.
Use the two sides that you have.
Basically, I should have labeled this triangle something other than A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Basically.
Cause there's also
Basically
two
that.
A's that are
Yeah.
that are denoted different.
Wait, what?
You should have
A
Hello.
is area
Hello.
equals half B to the side
You're
of
thinking
x.
into it too
Please
much.
stop talking. Oh wait a minute.
I
get
got
it.
it.
Got it?
I did
Okay.
have it. Really? So B and C are
And
the
now I
two
don't have
sides
it
that you do
anymore.
have.
Yes.
Okay. That took a little bit of thinking.
And then your angle is the included angle between the two sides that you have, no matter what it's labeled.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
71 degrees. And then it's just punching it out. It's just punching it out on a calculator. So 0.5 times 13 times 15 times sine of 71 gives me 92.188. Now, this is the area. So what are my units here?
Square inches.
Square inches, yep. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you another one. And I want you to do this one on your own. We'll check it together.
Bless you.
That was a cough.
Yeah.
You don't bless with a cough.
I do. I don't
God
expect
bless
that.
you.
No, I don't expect that.
We all have to be so specific.
Ouch.
Oh my goodness. What'd you say?
Blasphemy.
Okay.
Oh, Brian. Don't be a hater.
No haters.
Don't hate.
We don't do
We
that.
don't do no hating.
Actually, for this one,
No. What have you done?
You didn't.
what did I leave out?
Big
angle.
angle. Let's use the Heroes formula.
No.
Aw.
Use the what?
Something that
No.
you guys haven't learned yet.
No, tell me.
Okay.
I can't wait till I do calculus for the second time.
Let me
People
start
gotta go
over.
that.
And there's jokes like that we could plan on all doing.
Exactly.
Can I finish my thought here?
Yes.
Okay. You're given three sides. You're not given an angle. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you pair up with somebody that's near you. And what you're going to have to do first is solve for an angle. Does it matter which angle you solve for?
Nope. Not at all.
Doesn't matter which angle you solve for. But solve for one of them. Between you and your partner, you decide. Even if we all pick different angles, should we end up getting the same area?
B.
Yeah?
Wait, so we would use the
Erica
that
loves
formula?
Joy.
You first have to find one angle. And then you can use the area formula.
I'm like,
Because it's
I'm
all
like, geez, the last time.
So you use law of cosines first to find the
Right,
angle.
because that squared's
Square inside.
And then once you find the
We could use
angle,
the formula right here. We could use the law of sine for. We can't though.
I'm not doing that.
Actually, that's one.
once you use the law of cosines to find an angle.
I'm sorry.
1 second, no.
Law of
Bagley.
sines.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Bagley?
Bagley.
I could have
Vaguely.
just
Vaguely.
Bagley.
And
I have a
then
friend that says no, I have a friend who says bog instead of bag.
Bog.
You're
so
bog.
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 Kind of
Yeah.
like Prague, except Vog.
Wait, they say bog instead of what?
Vague.
They say bog instead of big.
So vague.
It's kind of like
That's
Emily.
bog.
It's kind of
You
like
go to
Emily Arnold
Mansboro.
saying bagel instead of bagel.
I say
Or
bagel.
like how people say,
Bagel.
well, you know how people say legit instead of legitimate?
Yeah.
Well,
That-
instead of
that-
that,
that-
instead
that
of
should
that,
have been
instead of that, I say legitimate.
What?
And I say I'd like you to okay.
I think I got the hint.
Amanda off.
Hey, I'm probably gonna need to take Erica from here
We're
tonight.
gonna have to
Leaving?
go home.
Yeah, he's home.
Wait, what now?
That would
This
be
is first
funny.
grade.
Is this the record?
I think you're way overdue.
Way overdue.
Crap, there's no centimeters on this
I was
ruler.
Quiet.
centimeters on
You don't need centimeters.
Yes, I do.
talk and you give other people.
Really? 132.
What did you do?
Oh, you just did yourself.
Ooh.
Just curious, how many of you are finding angle J? Anybody?
Oh,
Um,
nice angle J.
I'm not even done with my triangle
Yeah, I'm
yet.
not doing that.
TJ?
What?
Keep working.
Yes, really. I'm not done with my
How many of you
triangle.
are finding angle D? You guys are finding
Which one did you find the angle of?
This one.
Then you used the other two opposite sides.
Yeah, I think this is the easiest.
Oh.
Wait, TJ's got some on the notes.
What?
Oh wait,
What is
there's
that?
some on the notes. You don't
No,
remember
it's
that?
fine. That's okay. Take your time.
Oh,
What?
well,
I'm
TJ,
so glad
because
that
you
was
didn't get a
We're all
problem
done.
right, and
Lot
you
of
know
pictures.
TJ got wrong on
Yeah,
some on the
we're all
notes. There
done.
actually was
I
something
didn't
on
realize
there.
until babe.
I was just like, oh.
Oh.
I can't. No, I have my head.
This is embarrassing.
That's good. I'm really glad.
Shoot, I didn't
These are
start
all
the
looking
meter.
big on
Oh
there,
shoot,
but
I
yeah.
should be looking at that. What'd you get?
A little cake.
For the
Thanks.
photo.
You too.
Yeah,
We'll be in
area.
touch.
12.
Bye.
12.9.
Did you tell him I said hi?
I got
and or her?
12.968. Good, so did I.
What's up?
He got
You're
my,
not
he
smart.
got my area.
Phone etiquette?
You and I had the same area in Chiraq,
Your
so.
teacher's on the
Oh,
phone.
that's right, you did too.
Oh, I
No,
was
you
They
got
can
my,
hear everything.
you copied my area measure. It was close. You got it exact.
Well, I would have gotten it exact too if I did
Aaron
round.
just has a
I
lot
was
of
just saying, he
voice.
did so, he's, whatever.
In the beginning, he did do some. He rounded. Wait, he rounded earlier than I did at first.
But he
Hey,
got the
check
same,
my
I
area
did
real
not
quick.
round. He got the
Oh.
same, he got the same area measure as me.
That's weird. That's actually really weird.
Hope I'm right.
Because
You're
you
gonna
and I
show
got
up there.
yeah, I need to get
I
a
bet
couple
you
points off
will.
this
Yeah,
because
I
I
want to
rounded.
be
I don't know.
Perfect. Okay. So if you found angle H,
That was weird.
I know, it's exciting.
wait, what?
Angle D.
Angle D?
Defeat the purpose of
On
it.
my handwriting. Is this angle H? This has to be angle H.
Mine's angled to
Wait,
H.
Brad.
H.
Oh,
Okay.
Mine's angled.
right.
Brad.
It's D.
Is that your handwriting?
You spelled
That's
for a
D.
different angle, right?
That's D.
Yeah.
We have it. Oh, we do have a D. I thought you were just making up
Actually,
letters.
something
Yeah,
like that.
that's my habit.
All right.
I did.
Gentlemen, make sure you're listening, please.
I'm listening.
Okay. So angle D, and if you plug it into the formula and use the two sides that include it, so the 5 and the 11, you end up getting an area of centimeters squared, 12.96.
H.
If you find angle H and plug that into the formula and use the two included sides there, you end up getting the same area. What should be written there though?
Inches
Centimeters squared.
Centimeters squared.
Whatever.
Centimeters.
And then for the last one,
Units but don't.
if you found angle J, you would get that value. And then plugging that into the formula,
I got that last
end up getting the same area. So no matter what angle you find, as long as you use the two sides that are on each side of that angle, you end up getting the same area.
Good
job.
Did you realize that you were recording all the way through your phone conversation?
Yeah. And that it got me probably, I don't know,
Confidential.
Got you in
Yeah,
trouble.
it probably got you what?
Probably got you
a little
busted.
reprimand.
Thank you.
Why did you get a reprimand?
I didn't get a reprimand. I was reprimanding you guys because you guys were talking when I was on the phone. I'm sitting here going like this, and Luke and Cole were the only ones who saw me, and they weren't talking. So they were the ones I was trying to shush.
What about me?
I was
But you weren't looking at me.
Oh, well, I was
Raya?
muttering to myself.
I can. Okay, I want you to get. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Really. Sometimes I think I wait more for you guys to be quiet than I do my other two kids.
You probably do.
Whoa.
I don't know. I
Don't
was
lump us in with
last
that.
year.
I'm serious. I think I pause more in this class than I do the other.
You deserve more reward.
I would like you to get with your derivative partners. Good.
Oh my god.
Quickly. You'll be working on practicing long cosignes so that work before you go to the other.
No, there was stuff that we're not gonna do.
No.
Specialty name.
Yep, Chelsea.
No, I don't think that triangle exists.
And what exactly are we doing?
Does that mean you?
No, derivatives, that means yes. That means yes.
Dude,
got me a start.